Aza's body if she dies.
Hi.
Fuck you guys. Did you just start the stream?
I sure did.
We're on.
That's a great place to start.
That's big rude.
5, 4, 3.
Next time countdown. Right, I understand. That's the... Hi, everybody. We apologize. There were issues tonight with Roll20, so we're if anything is weird sounding or anything, please let us know in the chat. And guys, if you could kind of listen here a little bit, if anybody wants to tune in briefly and just make sure there's, that Discord is actually capturing correctly here this evening, then we should be good. Yeah. Let's go around real quick, since we're 30 minutes late here, and let's introduce everybody. Starting with Tom, closest to me on the video.
That would be me. Hi, everybody. Yeah. My name's Arigim. I am a gnome from the desert. I went to a school called Al-Hajar. I know some magic. I know a bit about picking some locks, a bit about delving into some tombs and other ancient remnants of civilizations.
Excellent.
Also, I have an owl who's the spirit of my grandpa.
He's fantastic.
But I'm trying to look at the Twitch feed right now, and it's frozen for me. I don't know if anybody else is getting through.
Oh.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh, there it goes.
It actually looks
Delay.
like the owl has like high grandpa pants on him.
The delay is real.
The delay is real. There we go. All right. James, if you could introduce who you are playing as tonight.
Everyone, James, I'm playing as Jarus, the Triton fighter barbarian. I fight and I barbarian.
Excellent.
And rage.
The barbiter.
But like the nice kind of rage.
Fightarian.
Brad.
Oh, wow, I'm next. I am playing Red Stokefist. I come from the same vocal school as Arigim. Because I talk like this. I'm a war cleric.
All right. Tom
Yes.
to
Early
Aza.
gravelly voice.
Yeah. My name's Tom also, and I am playing Aza Autumnleaf. She's a cute little gnome girl who is one with nature, and she turns into animals and she casts spells.
Very much so. And last but not least, Patsy.
I am Galia Dehaven, the faithful servant of the Morning Lord Lathander, and with everything that I do, I try to honor him, even despite the tiefling nature in my blood. I am still working through that, and so it's kind of the work in progress, and so...
Indeed. Sorry about that. I somehow shot me out of the game, so I'm reconnecting. We'll see how our video turns out.
Gotcha.
Guys, this is the kind of evening this has been. But fortunately, we did not lose audio on any of that because we're running that through Discord now.
Yeah. Discord seems to be a lot more stable audio-wise.
Yeah, so this is probably how we're gonna roll for a while, I think. So I'm reconnecting here for a minute. While we're doing that, would anybody like to recap their impression of what happened last time?
Oh.
So we walked into Camp Vengeance, which was supposed to be filled with paladins doing the Lords' work.
But instead, they were just wallowing in their own excrement.
Oh, almost literally.
Yes.
And we also murdered like 7 of them. 8 of them? Was it 8?
We freed a number of the people who were being held against their will in the camp by a leader
And
gone mad.
and additionally, we prevented them from stealing our boats.
Yeah, that was a
With a
very good work
crime against the light,
by
and
Jairus.
you will have to repent and do services to pay for that.
Yes, well, we didn't all murder people. By the way,
There was only some murdering that occurred. Let's see. I have everybody in video except for T. So T, I don't know if you want to try to refresh real quick. Reconnect.
I will give it a try. Reconnect. And I have everybody moving.
Me too.
Yay!
I think we're good. All right. Fantastic. I think we're good to go. Let's give this a try, shall we? Let's play some D&D.
There's an awful lot of corpses on this map.
I was right. It is 8.
one or two of these are unconscious.
None of them were still paladins, Galia. They had fallen.
Or had they?
So we're jumping right in then.
Yeah, I think we can pick up like right after this battle. I think that's a good place to jump in and see where we go from here. Oh, there was something I was actually going to say about this battle that I thought was really fascinating. Because I did talk about how this was a full camp of people. We went, I want to say 5 rounds, which is what, 30 seconds of combat. We spent 2 hours playing 30 seconds of combat. So
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, it felt like people probably should have stepped in during that time. But really, in 30 seconds, like, this was so fast. Like, this was a precision strike that you guys performed, basically. And took out the leadership before anyone had a chance to even react. So there is still quite a number of people here in camp, but none of them are really in a leadership position. So I think that's an important thing to kind of be aware of as you head into this.
I just remember I memed all over the boss as I did
You did.
it. I guess Arrogant will like start, pull out a rag and start wiping the blood off of himself. That's undoubtedly been splattered all over, and look around. Is everyone okay? We all alive?
Mostly alive.
Still partially alive.
Wow, you look rough, buddy. I'm not really good with healing magic, so you're kind of on your own.
Suck it up.
I guess. I mean, I know that the people in this camp are like super destitute, so they probably don't have anything on their bodies.
Yeah.
Do you think just from a cursory glance they'd seem like they had anything worth scavenging?
I would say no, just as kind of a general. This place is. I mean, everything here is in the worst shape imaginable. I mean, people are sick, people are dying, the bathrooms are overflowing. I mean, like, this place is bad. So, and like, this goes down to like the equipment to like, you guys are walking in, and you're walking in after spending days in the jungle, weeks in the jungle at this point, and you are in better shape, better condition than they are.
So there wouldn't happen to be a spare shield laying around for our friend.
I mean, there might be a shield. It's not going to be a nicer shield, other than it might not be cursed.
Yeah, that's okay. She can paint it.
I think Galia is gonna kind of hang out in this tent right here with what I assume is the body of a stone face. I'm
Stone
sorry,
face.
whatever.
Bone breaker.
Niles break
Bone
bone.
breaker.
Breakbone, sorry.
She's gonna kind of hang out in here for a little bit, do a little bit of a one-on-one time with Lathander.
Arrogant's gonna start piling the bodies.
Well, Red is going to go get the nurse
Yeah. She's going to.
because I don't think everyone's dead. I wasn't using lethal force on the one or two I was attacking. So
But did you finish any of them?
I'm pretty sure I got one unconscious.
Yeah, there's
I
at
don't
least one
remember which
unconscious over here. She will come with you. Like as you come in, she'll kind of see that you were the victor. I mean, she obviously would be aware that this has gone on because it wasn't quiet. And she'll just kind of look at you. So it is over?
Yeah. Looks like it is. Well, I guess one way or another, it's an outcome. There's one or two people that I think are just unconscious. So, could maybe use your help for that if you can.
Yeah, she'll nod and follow you over to them, and she'll as you're walking together, she'll say, "My name is Sister Cius, and I thank you for your assistance today."
Sure, sister. I'm Red.
She'll actually kind of like reach out and like shake your hand and like, "It's good to have you here." And she'll kind of be like stepping over bodies and that kind of thing, and past everyone, and I think kind of a crowd is forming, and like she'll kind of tend to this person and kind of look up at everyone as she's kind of like, "Well, he is not dead. He will be fine." And she'll stand up and kind of look at everyone and just kind of yell out, "Colonel Breakbone has brought us here to die. He left us here to die, fighting against something we could not beat. And we are now all free from him. Everyone pack up. We will be heading out as soon as it is safe to leave. We head back to Fort Belurian and to Port Nyanzaru."
Hey, sister. Do you know who the next senior officer is here?
She'll kind of laugh. There are no senior officers left. You've killed everyone who would be in the chain of command. And the rest of these are just... And I mean, like, looking around, like, everybody is just like... I mean, they're barely soldiers at this point, right? Like, this place is madness.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't... As a player, I don't necessarily know what to say type of thing, but I'm just wondering... I'm just thinking I might, just being a soldier, I might sort of try to take over and...
Yeah.
Or at least to work with sister and, like, be, like, commanding and get people moving type of thing, because they're probably just standing around wondering what to do.
Yeah, like, I could see you just kind of like you kind of hear her address everyone, you kind of spin around, like, "You heard the sister," like, everybody snap to it, like, you just start giving, like, really militaristic orders, and like...
Yeah, like the sergeant type thing.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, just to see, or an intimidation check, if you prefer. Either one of those is fine. To see kind of how well, and I'm going to give you advantage because of your war background with all of that, and let's just kind of see how commanding you are over everyone here.
For some reason, I closed my brain isn't working very well. Perception, yeah. Still not doing very good at that.
No, I mean, like, at this point, it's not a high DC, though. Like, these guys are kind of looking for command. Like, they're in the middle of the jungle. So I think with an 11, I think you are successful in this. And it's kind of a, like, they've almost forgotten how to be, like, so it's kind of like they're a little slow getting up to it, but, like, you just kind of keep keep commanding, and like people slowly kind of start falling back in line and realize like there's kind of a new order here to things. Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to take a little while to kind of start getting the camp packed up and any supplies they do have kind of ready for travel and all that kind of thing. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay, get enough supplies to make it back to Nyanzaru.
Tell them there are boats that can be repaired back at Camp Righteous also.
There's still more there?
We had our two, and there were some that were sunk alongside ours.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people here, though.
There are, yeah.
So, because I was thinking of that during the week, that, but you're just reminding me that makes me think something different. But because I'm wondering, because they're going to need all the boats.
I was actually wondering that as well. That's why I remembered that there were some at Camp Righteous, but I don't know
Right.
how many people are left here. 40-ish.
40-ish, yeah.
something.
There's I think 2 boats still at Camp Righteous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now, if we...
They've got a couple of boats here, and you've got a couple of boats. Like between all of you, you probably could get.
Oh, that's their boats, right?
Yeah.
So they have 4 boats.
Yeah. If
But-
you wanted to donate your boats, like they could certainly get a good portion of the people down the river.
Right, but I'm just wondering, like, if it would even work. Like, if we might be slightly overloaded, but if we go back to Camp Righteous, then we can get a couple boats, and then they can use 6.
Well, we can send the most healthy of them to Camp Righteous to collect those, to repair and collect those boats. We have a mission. We have a soulmonger to stop before it kills the people who've sent us out here.
While everyone had been discussing this, I sort of have like all these bodies like
Yeah,
sort of piled up.
Yeah,
like,
where
neatly
are you kind of piling them? Where are you taking them?
I guess by the goats doesn't really. Probably like I would have been dragging them out to that ditch and just throwing them down in there.
Okay. Yeah, like I think some of these are roll a strength check for me and just see kind of like how quickly you are moving these guys,
All right, for how quickly? That's fine.
and like how easily kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be easy. It was just,
Yeah.
as long as it takes, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. I think it's just gonna kind of give me a
It takes a while.
So like yeah, you're really struggling with this, and like you're just dragging them kind of like one at a time, and
Yeah.
I'm sure other people are seeing you do this. I don't know if anybody else would jump in to help, but as you do, you kind of begin piling them up in this ditch.
I'll help
Galia's
the little
probably
man.
involved.
Aw.
Well, Galia's hanging out in the tent in there.
Right. She's doing some praying, but I think after a longer period of time, she probably drives.
I was actually gonna get Galia by the
Okay.
time I was done with that. If you were okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine. She's probably
Or
kind of praying over bone break.
I was gonna
His
say
body.
there is a body in there to go get if you want it, Eric.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say I was gonna get Red initially because he was right there, but he's busy carousing the folk of the camp, so he's gonna go to Galia. Hey, Galia. Jarvis was helping me move those bodies, and we need to get that last one, so we can burn them.
Wait, what? Wait. You want to burn the bodies?
Right, so they don't turn into undead.
And they'll actually become light.
I'm saving that one.
If you could wait.
Well, yeah, I was hoping I'd seen you pray over the bodies before. I was hoping you could do that.
Yes.
I feel like that's probably important to you.
I was hoping I could do a full ceremony for them, which I will need to wait until dusk to begin that, and then I will perform the vigil.
I mean, not to be rude, Galia, but do we have that long to wait? Undead could attack anytime.
Well, I could remain outside of the gates, and the rest could remain inside until morning after I finish. And if things get very dangerous, then I could return. But otherwise, I should give them the rights, the full rights.
Probably the least we can do.
I guess we'll consult the group about it. I don't know what everyone else wants to do.
And then I'll drag. Oh, yeah.
What time is it in game?
At this point, you're late afternoon, is what I would say.
So do we want to set off into the jungle and be in the jungle for the next night, or do we want to start in the morning and try to get farther away from the river where the undead seem to be crossing before the next night?
I would
Well-
prefer we stayed in one night here in the camp. 'Cause then
We don't even know yet what the attack pattern is at all, anyways. So, which is something I was interested in
Yeah.
finding out.
There's walls here. There ain't walls in the jungle. If we're attacked by undead, better than being attacked by whatever's out there in just our camp. But we got to go there. We got distance to travel anyway. I don't know if it makes any difference.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to find out from somebody what kind of attacks they were getting and what frequency.
Yeah. The sister would tell you that the attacks up to this point have been frequent, but not every day. It hasn't been it's not regular enough that they know, like, oh, it's every 2 days or something like that. It has been a couple of days since the last attack, however. So like everybody's a little bit on edge and kind of aware that it could happen again at any time.
And was it daytime or nighttime?
It's late afternoon. Oh, the attacks?
I mean,
I'm sorry.
the attacks,
The
yeah.
attacks often happen at night, but they have had them at both times. Again, the undead aren't necessarily particularly... They
They don't worry about nighttime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would she know if they tend to happen after the fort makes forays out into the jungle? Or regardless of that?
I think it is somewhat regardless of that. They have been on the defensive more often than they have been on the offensive here, I think is is kind of the feeling they would have.
So, Aragim searches the boss's body, Bonebreak's body.
Yes. Bonebreak. Let's see what he's got on him.
Is it Breakbone?
Breakbone, yes. See,
That was Glassjaw.
Glass jaw.
Bony dude.
I mean, he basically just has, like it says, he's wearing a breastplate, and he's got, and I took that off of him, and he's got a rapier. Well, actually, he had a greatsword. I changed what character he was. He had a greatsword. So that is what he would have on him.
I just imagined if he had a rapier, he would have been rapier.
Does he? Does he actually have a breastplate, or does he not? Because
You know what?
he didn't have.
I think there would be one like in this tent. Like this might be the nicest piece of armor in here. Is that there is a breastplate in this tent, but he was not wearing it.
I'll grab the breastplate then.
Is it human sized or is it Aragim sized?
It would be human sized.
Okay.
Yeah. It's also metal armor. But I don't have my person.
It's medium though. Whatever.
Oh, I wasn't saying I keep it. I just say I pick it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought you were commenting on metal being bad for jungle, but it's not heavy armor; it's medium. So I don't know.
Oh no, I was saying it's gonna sell for a lot because the
Oh.
breastplate is worth like 400
Right.
gold, and metal armor sells for more than that.
That is a good point. So what are you guys thinking? Are you staying for the night? Or are you heading into the jungle? Kind of, what is your plan here?
My vote would be to stay here for the night, give them our boats, because it's time for us to head off into the jungle anyway, and let them fend for themselves downriver. We'll go get ourselves a shield guardian, and then head to see the Oracle of Umbawa, or whatever that was. I'll have to look it up again.
Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't take a short rest, and it's basically evening at that point.
Or Alunga.
Might as well
Wise
just
guardian.
take a long rest.
Yes, or longer.
Except,
Yeah, short rest for now.
Well, what I'm saying is, if we take a short rest, by the end of that, it'll already be evening. So we might as well just do the long rest and then set off in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's late afternoon, so short rest isn't going to take that long.
But we don't want to leave at dusk and trek off into the jungle.
how,
We might get like 2 or 3 hours of.
really quick question. So do I have to take a long rest to not get the effects of exhaustion, or can I take a short rest and?
No,
You have to
be a long
sleep.
rest. Yeah.
It's not just a long rest; you have to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if sleeping is actually a part of a long
Well,
rest.
uninterrupted for at least 6 hours.
Yeah. It has to
Yeah.
be an uninterrupted rest. Like, you can't do stuff during that long rest, basically.
6 out of 8, or something like that.
So yes, you would need a
Would
long
do
rest
it-
not to have your exhaustion.
Okay, and and does that have to be sleeping? Or can it just be
Let me
like
look up the exhaustion rules, and I will tell you.
I think it's sleeping.
Unless you're an
for
elf.
tiefling. Yeah,
Yeah.
elves get to meditate.
You have to finish a long rest, provided that the creature has had food and drink. Let's see. During this long rest, a long rest is a period of downtime, at least 8 hours long, during which a character sleeps or performs light activity. And the light activity cannot be for more than 2 hours. So you would have to eat and drink and sleep for at least 6 hours.
And then what's the first level of exhaustion? What's the penalty for that?
Disadvantage on ability check.
Correct.
There's 2 things.
Its disadvantage on ability checks is first level. Second is your speed. It's halved.
That was attacks also, but could be wrong.
Attacks
Attacks
is
is
on
third.
third level.
Oh, alright.
Along with saving throws.
So, metagame wise, I know it's really stupid, but in character wise, I know Galia would do the proper vigil. And
Doing
so-
character. That's what we're here for.
So, she is going to. She will take her short rest. Will be consistent of like when she's just kind of kneeling and praying,
Mhm.
and so what happens then is she's gonna. And so she'll pray. She'll give them the full burial rites, which starts at dusk and will continue until the sun rises the next day. And so,
Okay. While you're doing that, let's actually do something while that is happening. We can check in with everybody else real quick. If there's anything else anybody would want to do, and then I've got something I want to do during your vigil.
Aragam's he doesn't want to sleep in the shit or anywhere near it, so he's actually gonna sleep up here in this perch,
Okay.
and he'll have like Gramps. Gramps doesn't have to sleep; it's the spirit. So it's gonna be patrolling out there, looking around, keeping its eye out.
Okay. I think that's fair. Why don't you all position yourselves? Jarvis, what would you be doing? Where would you try to get to for the evening? What would your plan be?
Jarvis would sort of just head over to this patch of grass and glower.
Like, I think Quilgok would probably be over in that area as well. Like, that's kind of like the one spot that Deadly Treasure could kind of like munch on things. So he's just kind of probably over there near you. And I'm guessing that
It's clean.
that he would probably want to strike up like a conversation and just chit chat and stuff. He's, you were his first buddy back in Port Nyanzaru. So,
Yeah, I'll talk with him.
He's a personable guy.
He can talk me down.
Yeah.
There's some water over here, Jarvis.
Well, there's a barrel. You could just sleep in the barrel.
We can roll for shit if you want
true,
to
I
see
could.
how bad it is.
Oh man, it's not the drinking water apparently.
Red, what would you be doing for the evening? Would you be with Galia? Would you be doing? Like...
I would spend. Well, first of all, I am going to take a short rest because if we get random encountered, then I'm going to be in trouble. In fact, I'm still going to be in trouble, but at least I'll have my health. But I will spend the 2 hours of my 8. I'll spend 2 hours with Galia to like keep watch while she does her rites.
And then try to find a safe place to sleep for the evening after.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Asa, what would you be up to?
Asa and Hatch are just kind of laying down next to the goat pen over here. She's found some animals, and that's all that it takes.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's do two different scenes here then. I think. Over here with Jarvis and Quilgok. Let's deal with that first. I actually think this could be a good thing to deal with. So I think Quilgok would just kind of engage with Jarvis and just kind of commiserating, like, well, this wasn't at all what I was expecting to find here.
Yeah, it's a real shame.
He's going to kind of look at you, like, it seems to have really gotten to you, Jarvis.
Yeah. I don't know what was wrong with that man. Turned on his own kind. Of course, shouldn't be surprised. The first thing we did when we got to Port Nyanzaru was invade someone's home over gambling debts. Oh, that folk are crazy.
He'll kind of nod. He's, well, my people aren't necessarily used to being around all of these humans and whatnot, and they certainly do have their own ideas of things.
What's a turtle city like, Quilgok?
Yeah, he'll kind of brighten up a little bit. And, well, I think you'd like it. It's a pretty simple sort of place. We've got places where we care for the young and the old folks of our people will stay there and help. And they're simple towns, but generally quite cozy and friendly. And he'll kind of you got that map of yours? Who has your map, by the way? Does Asa have it?
Me.
Or Arrogant?
I assume Arrogant
Probably
does.
Yeah.
Nah, sorry, it's
Yeah.
with the short one.
Yeah. Well, he's going to say, well, down off the southern coast, there's a little island called the Snout of Omgar, and there's actually a village there of my people. I'd love to take you there sometime and show you.
Yeah,
what
I'd
it's
love
like.
to see it.
I think you'd find it interesting. We're a sort of creature that bridges both land and sea. He's gonna be quiet for a couple of minutes, and then he's gonna say, "What do you know? There's a sea legend, I think, maybe a sea god of some sort, called Umberly."
Umberly is the enemy. Umberly is the patron god of all that I fought against, all that my people fought against.
He's gonna kind of get a little, what? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Certainly. We Tritons aren't actually from the material plane where we are now. We're from an elemental plane of water. It's time immemorial that we came here, but even before then, there was a time in the plane of water where there were no Tritons, and the Saguin, the dragon turtles, and the kraken, they just ran the place with the Umberly as their god. But then, eventually, the great god Bermuda, known as Torm to you, Earthfolk, he gathered up salt, valor, sea, abnegation, and gave them form. Thus, we Triton were created to fight against the darkness against the dangers that lurk below. That's how we came to be, in opposition to Umberly, all of her creatures.
Yeah, he's gonna look kind of troubled, and well, on our island on Omgar, there's a place called, well, we call it the Typhoon Palace. And, well, I've never been there, but people say it's a pretty bad place. We tell our young tourists not to go there, but there have been those who have gone and disappeared there.
Is this a shrine to Umberly?
Well, there was a ship that crashed nearly a century ago on the snout of Omgar, and my people, for a little while, became enthralled to the priestess who was on board that ship, and they built her this temple. And it's the one thing that mars our island.
How? First, a dragon turtle in Port Nyanzaru, now a priestess to Umberly. I'm supposed to be from the last defense. I'm supposed to know about these things, but we didn't. And y'all are being enthralled and... Promise you, Kogal, I will go to this Typhoon Palace. I will oust the priestess there.
He's going to nod. I think I've seen your group do some pretty amazing things so far. You've withstood a lot in this jungle, a lot that people wouldn't normally be able to handle. And if there's anyone who could help my people, I think it's you and your group.
Thanks, Kogal. That means something.
like I think he would just kind of go quiet at that point, unless there's anything else,
Yeah.
Jarvis, that you would want to say.
I don't have anything really to say.
Yeah. Let's jump over to Galia and Red. So Galia, you're over working on performing the correct rites for them. And Red, you're just kind of standing watch, like I'm guessing fairly quietly, just kind of letting her handle her thing.
Yep, pretty much. I guess. Well, I assume I get a short rest.
Yeah, everyone can take a short rest at
Okay.
this point. While that is going on, Villy is going to make her way out, and like I think she's going to kind of stand silently, kind of watching for a little bit, and just kind of watching what Galia is doing, and then she's just going to kind of say into the evening a little bit, like not necessarily addressing Galia, but like it's definitely going to be pertaining to her. She's going to say, these men here, they were paladins and they believed in what they said. And look at the evil that occurred.
I think Golly is going to. She will probably ignore a lot of what Veely says unless Veely comes up to her and directly interacts with her, because of the fact that she's so. Golly is really worried that since her tiefling heritage might perhaps impede their ability to move into the light, and so she's really focused in a way that she doesn't want to mess anything up. And so she's just trying to get everything as perfect as possible, even though they're in the middle of the jungle and far away from any proper temple.
I think like if Galia is not going to say anything, she's going to kind of turn and look at Red, and she's going to say, "Red, what do you think? Do these beasts of men?" And she's going to just kind of like gesture into the pit where Ergim dumped all of the bodies. Can they be taken to the light at this point? Do they even deserve, after everything they have done? Can they be redeemed still?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, this is, this is soldiers. Zach.
The voices, they'll mess you up every time.
No, that's what happens when I try to eat at the same time. Yeah, I mean, this is a classic case of soldiers following orders without thinking about it. That'll get you into trouble at times. But, of course, that's what we train soldiers to do, so... I don't know. I'm not a god, so I guess it's up to them. But, I'll bet you some of them doubted, but they didn't do anything about it.
She's just gonna kind of shake her head. This faith that you all have in whatever gods you follow, I do not understand it. It seems whatever the actions of the men, whether it is, and she's going to kind of gesture over it at Galia, whether it is brainwashing people into following blindly to cover up sins that are not their own, or whether it is going to the links of madness. And she's gonna just gesture around at everything that is bloody and dead and posted to trees and flayed and whatever it is, your gods are not the ones to blame somehow. I just do not understand.
Well, I agree with you there. There's a big difference between what people choose to do on their own and the gods. I mean, it's funny how there's so many different interpretations of what people think they should do for their god. So, but that's why the gods sort out the dead, because they can know for sure what was in their hearts and what they were doing.
She will kind of shrug a little bit. I will leave you all to it. I do not understand. And she's just going to... she's not going to come up and pester Golia. She's trying to leave a little bit of respect while not necessarily having a whole lot. Like, she's trying to do this balance. She's going to just kind of turn and head back to the fort. And as she does, she's going to kind of freeze here on the edge of the bank, and she's just going to say to Red, "Quiet. Look across the river."
Is it still light out, or?
Like, it is dusk at this point. Like, everything is kind of getting darker, and Gramps would also see this. Anyone who is actively watching the shore would see this. And across the shore, you can see kind of shadowy figures in amongst the trees across the way. They don't necessarily look like they're moving in this direction. It's like they're moving kind of parallel to the river, and they're not moving swiftly. They're just kind of shambling their way through the jungle.
So this is one of the ones that was in the valley with us, right? This
Yes.
Can't remember her name right now, but
Billy.
yeah.
Really?
All right. Well, never mind then. Can't ask that question.
There, yeah, you can see her name.
Oh, right. Yes. Well, Red will just say, well, I hope the nearest crossing is far away from here. I think you might also say, maybe go into the fort and alert one of the soldiers.
Arrogance already way ahead of you.
Well, he doesn't know that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Vili will nod, and I'll go and alert them. You stay and protect her.
Yep. Well, Red will pull out his crossbow.
Yeah, and Vili will kind of go moving very quickly into the fort. What is Aragim doing as once the owl reports back to him?
Yeah, as soon as Gramps had noticed movement or seen something, he would have slid down the ladder and gone straight to Jaharis. He would have dashed, whatever. He would have moved. And if Jaharis is sleeping at this point, I don't know if you're muted, James. I think you're muted.
I am muted, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm asleep. I've been talking. What's happening?
Oh, he's just cutting him in. Okay. We got trouble. There's some movement on the other edge of the shore.
Undead.
I'll put my fingers up here and talk to Gramps and just like see through his eyes. He has dark vision, 120 feet.
Yeah, like I think it would be pretty safe to assume that this is probably undead.
Yeah. So my eyes just like flash some like prismatic colors just for a second, and then I come back and I'm like, yeah, it's undead.
All right. Well, we should get ready for him.
I'll go harass as many people as I can.
I'll help by going in a different direction and grab other people.
Yeah. Is there? I mean, Arrogam spent a decent amount of time. Is there like a portcullis? Is it hinged gates? Is it like a sliding gate?
It's like a fairly simple hinged kind of gate. It's not as secure as it could be, but it's heavy at least, and like it can be closed and opened.
Okay. All right then.
Sorry, Lauren. How tall is this platform here?
It would be. I mean, it's probably 10 to 12 feet up, something kind of like that. Let me see if there's any more information that they have given me, but something like that is my guess.
Okay, great.
I hate to bring it up, but Galia probably took off her armor so that she'd wear just her vestments, and so, we're sitting pretty at a 9 AC.
She wants to play that Tempest cleric really bad.
Yeah.
But she'll have to come up with a new accent.
Yeah. So the ditch around this is 20 feet deep. It's kind of deceptive because it's muddy and wet in there. So this is actually very deep. So Galia would probably be like on the edge, looking at like these bodies probably would have kind of like sunk in, and they're kind of like it's at a weird like into the mud and stuff. But the gatehouse itself, or the palisade, is 12 feet high around.
Great.
Yeah. So and so this tower would be kind of like right at the top of the palisade. So yeah, right at 12 feet.
As soon as Arrogam was done carousing people, he would have taken his place back up at the top there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't have gotten that many people because most of these people are like dying. So
yeah, I think what happens is like you probably get guards up into each tower again, right? And like there's probably a couple of guards that station themselves up in here with you guys. Like I think Vili would actually maybe take watch with you up in the tower as well.
Has anyone told Galia yet, or is she just still doing rats?
yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
told Red and Galia when they.
Has anybody told Aza yet?
I would have gone to Aza because she's on that side of the camp.
I would have quietly said to Galia that yeah, I know you're busy, but there's undead people on the other side of the river, so we'll have to be careful.
She'll stutter in her words, and then she'll nod, and then she'll continue with the line she was saying, which is probably something like, "Thank you for giving us your light, that we may return to it. I pray for these souls that they may return to it, blah, 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 blah." That's the idea.
While you're doing that,
I have everything written out if anybody wants to see it, but it's kind of a...
Did you write down blah 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 blah?
Yada yada
While
yada.
you were saying that, Gramps landed on you, and his like little claws grabbed your cape, and he's now like, trying to pull you.
She'll kind of like tug it slightly, because like this is her only This is her only set of like vestments that she owns ever, so she just kind of like doesn't want it to get. She's trying to keep it clean, even though we're literally covered with mud. There's an attempt.
Hey,
At least mud that we know about.
Lauren,
Mhm.
could I just take a moment before coming up to this this tower to find like junk and garbage and stuff that would work as a an improvised thrown weapon?
I don't. You would barely need to take a moment. I think there is.
Okay,
There's
great.
probably refuse
Oh,
spread
perfect!
around
I'll
that you
take
could
the
that you
refuse.
could that you could find. Just kind of.
Great.
I don't know. Fantasy candy bar wrappers. I don't know. What is it? It's
I don't know if you want to pick up anything you find
Yeah.
in this place.
no,
It's all good. I
There,
got
there
it.
would be like junk pieces of armor just kind of strewn around.
Yeah.
And yeah. You could
Especially
find-
especially all blog and brown.
yeah.
What Aragon is going to do at this point? Are the undead moving across, or what are they doing exactly? Are they
They're
shuffling?
They're
over?
kind of moving parallel. So like they're not crossing. They're just you can just kind of see shapes over in the jungle on the other side, kind
Okay.
of moving.
All right. Then in that case, I'm not going to light any fires, just so they, in case they haven't noticed us.
Yeah. Eventually, these shapes are going to kind of fade into the distance, or fade into the jungle on the other side, especially as it gets darker out. Is there? You're not going to see any attempting to cross or anything like that. So, how do you all try to spend the evening under threat that there may be zombies and skeletons and things headed your way? Like, what? How do you spend the night?
With the gate locked.
Yeah. If
Like, cracked just enough to let Galia in if she makes a run for it, kind of thing.
she hasn't even moved.
Is Galia gonna stay out there with the zombies across?
Yeah, she's gonna. She has to
Okay.
move them before, right?
All right,
She has to stay
I'm
out with the bodies.
I'm gonna go help Galia, not die.
Yeah, I think at that point, Aragon will
Leave
send,
my pile of refuse.
Aragon will send a Gramps as far as he can distance-wise, so he can still communicate telepathically.
Mhm.
Is there? I'm going to send him to scout, I guess. Actually, is there like a main body of this? Are they just like shambling individually in whatever direction? Are they like all going upstream somewhere?
So they do appear, with Gramps out scouting, they do appear to be headed upstream, which in this case is
Or I guess technically. That's...
south. They're headed inland, right? They're headed down south, right?
Oh, okay.
Because the water is flowing out towards the coast.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would be upstream. So they're definitely headed that way. It is like kind of think like Walking Dead. It's kind of a pack, sort of like that. Like they are not necessarily together, but they are grouped, if that makes sense. Like they kind of operate a little bit that way. Like they are not necessarily entirely conscious of each other, is kind of how it seems, but they have somehow grouped up together.
As if called.
So what would you guys like to do?
I'd let everyone know that they're heading south, right? South.
Mhm.
Yeah. In a group, and then I'd probably ask natives, so like Vili or Rana, what is south of here? Or I guess I could consult my own map as well.
I don't know that Vili would know.
Any of the
Cool.
camp locals?
Yeah.
Well, I think Quilgok specifically would know, and maybe some of the locals would know as well. That south of here is the Aldani Basin. That's probably the next big thing south of here, which is definitely kind of a Chultan holy site, if you will.
Okay.
It's kind of an area where all of the river that flows out, like it kind of comes from here. So So it's kind of a big, swampy, marshy basin in the middle of the island.
Is that like north? I'm looking at a map that's
Here.
not revealed at all.
We can
Okay.
do this for you,
Sorry.
so we can see what you would know.
I think I sort of saw it as it was loading. It's like right there.
Not at all. No, not even remotely.
No, we're up farther near Mabala.
Oh,
You
close
guys
to
are up
Mabala.
here.
Yeah, that was the only body of water I saw. So, oh, that must be where it's coming from. Okay. Oh, the basin right here. Okay. All right. Okay. Gross. That sucks.
And Quilgok would kind of inform you, like, once you head there, it's all kinds of little tributaries and marsh. Your canoes aren't going to do great once you hit the basin. Now, there are rivers, if we can move them through there, that pick up, go in the other directions out of there. We could take the River Tath out to Jahaka Bay, or there's other rivers. The River Oolong, I believe, might connect at the southern end of the Aldani Basin. But you'd have to move your canoes through.
We're about to not have canoes anymore, right?
That's what you were suggesting.
Possibly.
Because we've got a stop at Vorn for a shield guardian, and we need to go to Oralunga to talk to the wise somebody. And then we've got to stop at Mbala, and all of that is away from the river, so the boats would just be a hindrance.
Yeah. Where do you guys want to head first? Like, what is your first stop? Are you thinking? Are you headed north to Vorn? Is that kind of your idea?
I'd vote for Vorn.
Yeah.
That was our plan initially.
Yeah, I think so.
Go to Vorn and then to Orlunga.
Yeah.
I just looked this up. The wise guardian of Oralunga.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't have anything specific for Mabala.
When I wrote it down, we were supposed to speak to the wise guardian of Oralunga west of Mbala. So that's where that came from.
Oh, okay.
And it says she can direct you to that which you seek.
Yes. I got that.
All right. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we say that you all kind of spend a restless but enough to get a long rest, except for Galia, night. There's probably a couple of times during the night when more shapes pass on the other side of the river, but nothing crosses to attack you. So the next morning,
Okay, long rest. Yay.
yeah, long rest,
Yay.
except for Galia. The next morning would dawn, and I think the folk of the camp would be kind of up, like kind of at the crack of dawn, and ready to hit the jungles. However, if you are offering canoes, they'll take you up on that. Let's figure out what is going on here. Like let's make sure.
Oh, actually, the other question I had been going to ask them was, well, if they knew, and they might not, was if they were going to come back, like get reinforcements in the city.
Like I think the sister would say that she would have no plan of ever returning here. I mean, the order of the Gauntlet. Are they going to ever come back? That's like there's nobody here with the command to make that kind of decision.
Right.
And how many of these guys are even going to stay soldiers once they get back to civilization? I mean, hard to say.
They're just barely soldiers now.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone would know quite an answer to that. It's a good question, but I don't know that they would know an answer for you.
Yep.
Kerrigan would have gotten up. He would have gone to sleep right after, communicating that they're probably headed towards the Eldani base in this horde of undead. And after he woke up, he probably would have gone out if Patsy was still doing the rites. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know when the sun rises exactly. It's autumn,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, it takes from dusk until dawn. And
Yeah.
so, once dawn had hit, she would extinguish all of the candles, all of the incense that she'd been burning, everything that she had been doing to provide for them, and then she would have folded everything up, and then she would have walked back towards the camp.
Arrogant will wait till she's not like trying to be sneaky, just she probably doesn't want to see the bodies burn, so he'll be respectful, and he'll like hold his hands out flat and raise his hands up, and as he does, the bodies will just be engulfed in a bonfire as he casts the flame pillar or create bonfire spell.
Brad, can I just ask you maybe to mute while you're flipping through the book? It's just a little loud. I apologize.
Sure.
Yeah. Interrupting there, guys. Yeah, they'll burst into. I mean, like they burst into flame. It's again, they're kind of sticking out of the mud, and it's not. It's not a perfect bonfire, but.
Yeah, I mean it's just like a magical gout of flame.
Yeah.
And however long it takes. How long it takes.
I'm sure it makes kind of like a foom noise when it happens, and Golly's just kind of wince.
Yeah, very much so.
Did we get a feel for how many undead passed by? Hundreds, I assume.
I mean, maybe not hundreds, but maybe 100, maybe something like that.
So we don't want to chase them.
Well, I mean, you might.
We could pick off the ones at the bottom.
There's enough trouble in this. There's enough trouble in this jungle. We don't need to go chasing it.
All right. So it's the next morning then?
It is the next morning.
And do we have jungle travel rules, or was that just river travel rules?
No, there are jungle travel rules as well. It's basically very similar to river travel. You're just not going to move as fast because you're not on a river.
Oh, I will point out that I gave up pretty much all my rations.
All right.
Or at least I don't know if they needed that many to get back to Nyanzaru, so I don't know. I gave 15.
They'll need way more than that.
I was going to say, they'll need as many as they can get.
I can also give some rations.
Asa offered the boats, and that's about as far as her generosity is extending.
Alright, I'll give them 20 rations. How about that?
Partially because Asa is sharing her rations with Hatch, and she's not going to take food out of his mouth.
We can always do more hunting.
Dolly will give them the water skins. She'll give them.
Oh yeah, I want to give them water skins too. Let me just unload stuff that I don't need.
Arrogam has been carrying stuff, and he wants to get rid of it. So they're going to get 3 backpacks, 3 bedrolls, 3 mess kits, 3 tinder boxes, 30 torches, 3 water skins, and 150 feet of hempen rope.
I've given them 15 water skins.
You get a car, and you get a car. And you get a car.
This is all the stuff we found on those dead mercenaries, so I don't really care about it.
Okay, I can carry a ton of stuff now, FYI.
Okay.
I've gotten rid of a lot.
All right. So if you have given them your if you've given their canoes, they can fit 36 people into their canoes. That's going to leave a few who are not going to be able to float downstream with it. So like the most hale and hardy of them are going to hike up to Camp Righteous and try to fix the canoes there. They may have picked Jarrus's brains on how to do that at some point, since he was able to
Yeah, I
fix
did.
them before. And so there's probably like 10 or 15 of them who are also like hiking basically. I think Rana and Utongi, whatever his name is, Utongi would probably, and Vili would probably all plan on heading back with them unless, because they've kind of have completed their mission here. They've got Volo, they need to take him back. Rana and Utongi don't really know what to do, but getting back to civilization seems like the right option for them. And Vili needs to deliver Volo back to the Flaming Fist.
Put in a good word for us, Villy.
She will nod and she'll say, you know, I never did ask to see your papers for traveling in the jungle.
We don't need papers.
No, you didn't.
She's going to kind of take a moment and she's going to write some stuff down, and she's going to hand it to Red, I think, and she's going to say, if you run into any Flaming Fist patrols, show them this. It may get you out of trouble. And it's basically kind of a letter from her explaining how much you helped and like just kind of that you're out in the jungle and she has personally, you know, with her commander and everything that you saved, or you know, fought with, like they have given you permission to be in the jungle and all of that kind of thing. It may or may not work, but it's something.
Aza would try to whisper at Vili to just try to get her to give Galia some kind of positivity as far as how tieflings can be good and it doesn't matter what your ancestors did a few hundred years ago.
Aww.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like honestly, I think Vili probably would seek out Galia like one more time to have a conversation kind of like that. So yeah, like I think she would find Galia the next morning after, like maybe even kind of like at the end of the night, kind of as you're still out there, like right before the fireball went off.
Yeah.
And or kind of maybe as you're leaving and like maybe she kind of sees the fire, you kind of wince at it a little bit, and she's going to say, I do not understand how your gods work, Galia, and I see that you have very deep faith in them, but you are a tiefling, and you are someone with great faith. And even with what you have seen here and back in the jungles, you have not let it shake you. If you honestly think that your god cannot see past your tiefling heritage, well, I for one don't think he would be worth serving. You need to believe that you are all right for yourself. And if your god cannot handle that, well... And she's going to kind of trail off. I wish you the best of luck out there. And she's going to kind of pause for a second and like kind of, you can see like this is taking a little bit. She's like, and I hope that the thunder will bless you and your travels.
Oh. Dahlia's gonna. She has kind of like a more crude looking symbol of Lathander. It's like more of just a wooden icon. And she's going to pull it out from her pack and then give it to Beely and say, even with what I said when we first met, I know that the light of Lathander shines upon you, and so I want you to have these too, even if you don't believe it, that you know that he will shine upon you favorably, and you shall join him in the light.
You're gonna die.
Wow. Yeah, like she'll take it, I think fairly graciously from you, and just kind of put it in a safe, tuck it away into a safe spot. And she'll just kind of nod and I think head back to the rest of the group. I don't know that she would have anything else to say. I think Vola would probably make a pretty big show of like, Galia's just rolling her, or Patsy's just rolling her eyes, of kind of like being down at the docks and like these boats. I should definitely make sure that this group is safe in this one. I'll ride with you. I can entertain you with my tales to help pass the time of the trip. And just like he kind of keeps going on and on about like all of that.
When you were figuring out how many they could take, did you account for the goats? Because I assume they have to take the goats with them for whatever food value.
I think we get to keep the goats.
They are not planning on taking the goats.
That's dinner, man.
Yeah, like it might even be thinking about butchering them.
Tom, this is your herd. Take them.
Dinner.
Yeah, she understands what these goats' purpose is for these people.
Yeah, like honestly, like I think they would try to like if there was any way to butcher them or anything to get anything for the journey, they probably would do that. Sadly, because it's going to be rough for them. It's going to be a rough trip. Yeah, I think they're going to head out, and this is going to kind of leave the camp pretty empty. Arrogam, you were going to try to steal the book. Is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and steal all
not
of
for
them.
like 42 people? I mean,
Well, okay, you're right. Yeah, no, for 42 people, that's wow, 42 people. I was thinking they have 35 rations plus like 4 or 5 goats.
yeah,
For 9 days.
for at least a 9-day travel, assuming there's no.
Yeah, 42 is a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck to them.
Yeah. Like I mean, this could turn into the Donner Party pretty quickly.
Should we go with them in that case? Like, I don't know. We wouldn't. I don't know.
We have stuff to do.
I guess. But
I think
is it more important to get this shield guardian and investigate this mysterious message, or is it more important to ensure that 42 lives or whatever, make it safely through the jungle?
What about the thousands who are dying because of this soulmonger?
Well, they died already.
ouch. Dahlia
Um,
normally would side with the escort them, but she kind of has the dead eye before finals and it's an 8:30 test look. So she's kind of a little bit zoning out.
All right. While you're thinking about this,
Well, we could split the difference and escort the hikers back to Camp Rages.
that is true.
I don't know.
Arrogant, why don't you roll me a
They're
sleight
gonna
of
have an
hand
easy
check?
time. Here.
okay. I'm gonna
They're going
use-
downstream though, so maybe it's easier
Am I
for
muted?
them. It'll be quicker.
Well, yeah, I was thinking it would be not the same number of days as we spent
Yeah.
going downstream.
It should be a
But
little
the
bit
hikers-
going downstream.
The hikers might have a problem.
Yeah, I will use my inspiration for this roll. 24. Oh my god, nearly natural 20.
Butterfly.
Ooh, natural
So-
one.
So he is in process of telling his just all of this stuff, and working his way into the trying to work his way into the good graces. And like I think he probably like leaves his pack like on the shore at some point, like while he's like strutting about in the boats and like generally getting in the way. And like that is probably when Aragim does this. Also roll me a stealth check while you're at this,
Sure.
just to see how.
Did I
to
click
see how
it?
this. Yes,
Oh,
22.
yeah.
22. There we go. All right. So you just kind of like sidle over. You see the pack come off. And you're like, "This is my moment." You like sidle over and just kind of yoink, and like no one notices. And you now have a book.
Volo's guide.
You now have Volo's guide in your possession.
And in a mirror universe, it never gets published.
Well, maybe that's why there's more mistakes in it. Maybe Aragim stole it.
Maybe
So
we've got. Yeah.
yeah, so
It can't be a good copy. We know Volo.
practically this is going to give you information on monsters that are in the guide. It's not going to give you like stat blocks or that kind of stuff. Like you're not getting that kind of
Yeah,
information
yeah.
out of it, but kind of you can definitely get a lot of flavor and a lot of kind of basic information about not every monster, but the monsters that Volo has written about.
So I just want to preface, or actually suffix this. I don't know what's the whatever word.
Speak.
I I have never played a rogue before, and oh boy, stealing things is a rush.
You played Skyrim, though, right?
Yeah, but that's so. Stealing that is boring.
No.
I don't know. You run away from the guards. Yeah, but that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I stow that, and I check all the bodies to make sure they're nice and ashy, cindery, and I guess check the camp one last time. I'm sure they picked it clean of everything that is useful. So
Yeah, pretty much.
and
All right, so
Except shields.
if
Yeah,
that would just be extra weight.
Galia wishes to find a shield that is not the shield that she has been carrying, I will allow her to find such a thing.
I have taken Eclipse now and I tossed it in the river. I won't actually do that if you don't want me to, Patsy, but
So, I really feel like that's probably the smartest decision we can make. And so, she'll look for it afterwards, and just assume that maybe one of the other soldiers accidentally picked it up. And then she'll just kind of pick up one of the shields that she finds, dust it off, maybe try painting it. She's a little tired, so it probably doesn't look as nice as Eclipse did.
It's just like
Well, Eclipse did have a whole lot of arrow scars in it, so how nice it looked.
just for reference sake, Jarus, Snout of Omgar is this little
Got it.
island that has broken away from the main.
Oh, that's
yeah,
cute.
down here.
It's Tasmania.
Yeah, so that is
Oh.
the home of the Chultan turtles.
so Irrigam will approach Jarus while they're traveling, I guess, or while they're about to embark. Hey, I don't know if you or someone else can use this, but I found it in the break bones, bone breaks 10, and I don't know if you are good with these. I know you swing big metal things around, so he'll like he's been dragging this great sword through the mud, and he'll present it to you. I don't know if you want to carry this or if you want it at all. It looks painful. So
Along with the 10-foot pole.
I'll give it a shot. Why not? And now I am walking with a great sword cradled in one hand and a glaive as a walking stick in the other.
Excellent.
And
Ridiculous.
Also, I'll get the group together. Does anyone want this? I don't. This is too much for me. It's all heavy and crap, and it's too big. So, it's the breastplate. It's basically AC plus max 2 dex. So.
Well, I can utilize it actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll just take everything you got, Arrogim.
I mean, I can't carry it, so.
Speaking of which, Arrogim, I've been, because I've noticed you've been doing a few things. Like there was when we were hunting the boar, you put up that rock, and then back in the valley, you put up that wall of fire. I remember back in the Thunder and Lizard, someone did an illusion of a big fight. Was that you?
Yeah, actually.
Not even trying to lie.
What's the matter with you?
I mean, it was kind of boring in there, and I don't know. I just thought I don't know what. I don't really have an answer, honestly.
Well, good enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, do we have I seen whatever? I don't know. Like, I kind of kept my magic as secret as best I could. But does anyone else? I know Red can do. I mean, pretty much everyone can do. Can you do? Everyone in this party does magic. Okay, never mind. Yep.
But you're the only one who really does illusions. So.
Yeah.
I have my thaumaturgy. That counts as a little itty bitty.
Azo will cast a little spell and make it sound like Arrogam farted as he said that last thing.
Let's see. Is that a save or a check?
That was a minor illusion. You don't get nothing.
You can use your thing for minor illusion.
I'm just looking to see if I have a fart sound effect.
Okay, yeah.
Here goes nothing. We'll see what this does.
There we go. I'm pretty sure that beats your DC.
Well, you just know that it's an illusion.
Nope, that's a song.
That's what my farts sound like. Just a wind singing. I look to Red, Galia, and Ace. I'm like, I don't know which one of you did that, but that was hilarious.
Oh gosh. Guys, this is probably before we start getting into the jungle for some more exploration. This is probably a good place to take a short break. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, and we can go from there.
Guys, I got Volo's guide.
Welcome back, everybody. We are live yet again. We're having more technical issues, as always. You take a break, and like nothing changes, and still stuff breaks down somehow. So we are waiting for Galia to be able to rejoin us with video, but until she can, we're gonna keep rolling. She's on with voice, so that shouldn't be a problem for what we're doing here. All right, yeah. So this morning, hey, we need to advance the calendar. Let's do that first. That seems like an important thing to do. I feel like. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's the wrong thing there. I feel like the API is broken, so let's fix that briefly. Like I said, technical issues all over the place.
Everybody at Roll20 must be at PAX tonight.
Yeah. right, but the sandbox is spinning up, so that should be good. Let's see if the calendar script, there we go, calendar script is working. Excellent. Going to advance the date 1 day. It is now the 13th. There you go. Oh, the 3rd. There we go. Day 3 of Uktar. You've been traveling for 21 days, in case you were wondering. 95 degrees and hot. Another lovely day in the jungle for traveling inland.
Yeah.
All right, before
we'd know.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'd know about the tiefling in the party today if we
Yeah.
hadn't before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, probably some sweating going on. Before we go any further, I would really like everyone to do one thing for me. I'd love to get a Constitution saving throw from everyone. Just a straight up Constitution save.
Oh, good. And I don't
Is
have
this for
disadvantage
heat?
on save throws, right? Or do I?
You would have disadvantage on them currently. No, is it ability checks or saving throws? What did we
I
decide?
think it's ability. Just ability.
It's ability.
I think it's
check.
just
It's
ability
ability
check.
checks. So yeah, you would not have disadvantage.
Also, is this because of the heat, Lauren?
We don't know.
This is
Not
because
because
I'm
of
asking you to roll.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to bug salve down 1. Water.
Oh yeah, anything that you need to.
Oh,
Nicely done.
1. Arrogum's very used to the heat, but it's not related to the heat, so never mind.
Level 1 exhaustion, disadvantage on ability checks, and that's it.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Level 2 speed halved. Level 3 disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
Lauren, I'm just having a little bit of trouble with roll 20 in general. Could you do the roll for me?
Yeah. Let me pull up your character here. Galia. Let's see. You are after a Constitution check.
Oh, we rolled a 1! Oh, never mind.
It's a 19.
Oh,
All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Yay!
Hey, and you're back.
Cool.
Excellent. Oh, and she's back.
Yeah,
She's
wait.
gone.
Yay, I'm
All right.
getting everybody. Okay. Cool.
Excellent. All right. So you head out. Quilgok leads the way. Let's have him roll. All right, you are headed north towards Vorn. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we help Wilgok?
Yeah. So he's going to have advantage on this. So he's going to do his survival check, which I roll privately. All right. Excellent. Yeah, please mark off your any rations or anything that you're using, bug spray, all that kind of stuff. And let's see here, as you're traveling. All right, this day is going to, other than the heat, it's going to pass pretty uneventfully. And you're going to travel through the day and head north towards your destination that you are.
Did we ever address the Constitution saving throws?
Nope.
Everyone passed.
Everyone made one at least.
Would it slow
That's
us?
scary.
Would it slow us down to have Aza just looking for edible plants as they walk along?
What I'll do is I'll give you a one check for probably a survival check that can be kind of your scavenging for each day.
Okay.
Like if whoever you would like to kind of have be your scavenger, I think is maybe a better way instead of having like 6 rolls every day for it. Kind of whoever you want assigned to it. Somebody can take the help action, so they would have advantage during the day.
So I have survival of 4 or nature of 2.
I can help, I guess, because my survival is +3.
I have a nature of 4. Doesn't really make
All
it.
right. So yeah, so Aza, probably you making kind of you're on the lookout as you're traveling for just anything.
Oh, didn't find anything today.
Yeah, with a 10, yeah, probably nothing particular.
So is this including medicinal? or just edible?
Well, here's what I would say is like with a 10. Here's kind of how we'll set this up. If you get a 10, you find maybe like enough food to like feed yourself for the day. If you get a 15 or higher, we're going to give it enough that you were able to scavenge enough that everybody could eat a little bit, so you wouldn't have to use a ration for the day for everyone. And if you get a 20, like a nat 20 or better, or a 20 or better, I guess I should say, then you're going to get enough that you can actually pack some up in the pack for tomorrow. Does that seem
Fantastic.
Does that seem fair?
Cool.
All right. So just kind of keep that in your mind, and you can make those each day. All right. Yeah. So you head north into the jungles. Now that evening, as you make camp for the evening, let's see.
So anybody else getting a like scratch off game feel for this map? I just want to take a hexagon off.
So for this Constitution roll, are we completely unaware of? Would we feel a force come over us or something?
I mean, I feel like you're very focused on this Constitution saving throw.
I am.
Tom.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to worry about it too much right now.
Well, I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing particular that is coming over Arrogam. So yeah, you're fine right now.
I will say, but I probably have mentioned this 6 million times, but I have the immunity to diseases, and so I also wanted to know if that meant that I don't have to use bug spray anymore because they can't. Would I know that they just transmit diseases, or would they transmit poisons too?
There's the possibility that they could transmit poisons as well.
Okay. Cool.
Just yeah. All right. Yeah. So as the evening progresses, let me just look at one thing here. Brad, can I get you to roll me a D100?
Did we move at all on the second day? Because you said it passed without anything, right?
You're still on that day. We're in the evening.
This is terrifying.
Oh, this is the evening? Okay. Have we set up camp, or are we still moving?
You said as we're setting up camp.
Yeah, as you're setting up camp. Red, you're going to kind of start seeing around this camp as you were kind of working to set it up. You're going to start seeing what you thought was just a normal campsite to begin with. You're going to see, like as you turn around, you're going to see that on a couple of the trees, there have been spiked, just as there were at Camp Vengeance. There are a couple of like bodies that have been spiked against these trees.
So someone took pythons and staked them up in the tree?
Yeah, pretty much.
Gross.
Okay. I don't know. I'll like turn to someone next to me and point that out.
Who do you point it out to?
Well, I don't know who I'm next to, but
I mean, your standard marching order, which we wrote down.
I'm usually in the back, I think.
Yeah, you're in the back. Jarvis would be right in front of you. But I mean, this is kind of your breaking for camp, so it could be anyone that you wanted to.
I'll pick Jarvis.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
I'll just point to the trees and say, my eyes deceiving me, or is that a body hanging from the tree?
I just see a tree, Lorne.
You just see a tree.
Red.
Yeah, and over there too.
I just see a tree. What are you talking about?
I don't know. There's one over there too. You don't see anything.
Well, I see the tree.
So what do the bodies look like?
It's again very much like what you saw at Camp Vengeance. It's like zombie bodies. You see the little blue triangle on their forehead. like they've been like staked out, kind of like the bodies were there, just kind of like hung on the trees with a pine and like just hanging there, you know, kind of bloody and terrible.
So they're like humanoid.
Yeah, humanoid, but very much of a kind of undead sort of nature.
Do I notice that they're having this conversation?
I mean, I think I think this can be kind of up to you. You have a passive perception of 11, so whether if Red and Jarrus think that they're being loud enough, I'll allow it, but I'll leave it up to them to decide. If Red, however you
Yeah,
feel.
you. I'm okay with
Speak in
you,
normal
Gary.
ways. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, would Aragon want to set a tent extra far away so that no one would catch on to his sneaky business?
No, I mean it's a tent. He doesn't need to. You know, it's not like he's chanting some forgotten language. He just Aragon will approach him and be like, what's going on?
Well, Red, tell him what you see.
Well, just stuck to the trees. There's a couple bodies that, just like back at the camp entrance.
I don't see nothing. Lauren?
You do not see anything.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you were saying that. I didn't.
Okay. Right. Well, I guess where in the tree? And I start grabbing my 10-foot pole.
Well, I'll mention where I see them on the tree.
I'll
I don't know
poke
where it
where
is,
he
but
mentions. Does
a few feet up or something, or just
Yeah, like
Like-
eye height kind of thing. I mean, the 10-foot pole.
yeah,
would
not too
definitely-
high up. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, I'll poke it from
I'll,
that far away, though.
I will go get Galia, just to see if she noticed she can feel any evil type thing.
She's got the whole like the dead college student look like I often sport, but she will she'll kind of reach out with the channel divinity. Does she feel anything?
Oh.
Or
She does not.
What is-
oh, I know what I'm gonna do actually. I'm going to detect magic. Do I detect magic?
You do not.
I was gonna say, what does Red see when I poke the dead, like where the dead body should be with the stick, and I hit the tree trunk?
So what you're seeing is like as he hits this thing, like he's just like hitting this body, and like it's kind of like jiggling, and like as he's doing it, the eyes open, and like they kind of have a red glow to them, and they just kind of stare at you, and you see the mouth of this creature open, and just kind of this hissing gurgle comes out of its mouth at you.
Okay, Red will go like, whoa, and he'll grab for his.
I was poking, by the way. I wasn't like hitting it.
Well, whatever
grab for
you're
his,
doing.
Yeah.
He'll grab for his hammer.
Red, calm. It's just a tree, Red.
It just opened his eyes. So I'll maybe stop poking it for a minute.
I reached out and I did not feel any evil or really any sort of magic. I will look as well. Maybe she'll walk over where like everybody's poking, and then even with her tired eyes, does she see the bodies, or is there just trees?
Just trees.
So there's no magic there either.
Do I? And I don't detect any magic on like other than like his normal magic. I don't detect anything off about Red.
Not magically, nope.
Can I? So, Thomas knows a spell that protects from divination, but would Aragon?
Well, I mean, what does...
Protect from divination.
Yeah, it's Nistu's magic aura. It can just completely mask any magical signatures. So, detect magic.
I'd say... I'm looking at it here. Oh, I'm not looking at it here. That's not it. What's it called? Oh, it is. Place an illusion. What level is it? It's a level 2 spell. I think it would be very unlikely that if it's not on your spell book as a level 2 spell, like it would be unlikely that you would probably have encountered it at this point.
Can I make a check, or do you want me to?
Yeah,
just say no?
you know what? I'll give you an Arcana check, but it's going to be a pretty high DC on it.
Sure. Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
19.
What I'm going to say with that is, like, you would know that there could be magic that could do stuff. I don't know if you would know the spell exactly, like what specific spell it would be, but like,
Yeah.
like I think you're aware of the concept from your magical training.
I am.
But Golia is not detecting any magic.
Yes.
I'll be like, I mean, I went to a school for magic, so I mean, there are concepts, for hiding magic. So if I'm poking the tree trunk, right? Like I am thunking on the tree trunk when I poke, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm hitting this tree trunk, I mean, either the whole tree is an illusion and he's made it real, or whoever made it real. All I'm saying is that they can mask. People, wizards, can mask their illusions.
Red's gonna go over and poke at the one of the creature things with his hammer.
Like as you walk over to it, like the eyes follow you, and just like it kind of keeps hissing these sounds at you. Like I'm assuming you're going to the awake one, or are you going to one of the the other one? Okay. And yeah, as you kind of reach up with your hammer to poke at it, it's suddenly going to like lunge forward, like twisting its body around, and like its arms are going to come out and grasp around your hammer, and start trying to pull it from your grasp. And everybody else, you're going to see like I think Red is like starting to kind of like wrestle with his hammer, but like you don't see anything with it.
I will cast Pillar of Fire right where the zombie would be, like on its arms and stuff. Or rather, I'll stab. No, that's what I'm doing. Yep, that's what I do.
Okay, so like right in front of where Red is, basically.
Essentially, and
Yeah, so like the flame of this fire, the heat of it, Red, is going to like burst right in front of you, and this zombie is going to flame is going to like burst around it, and this tree bursts into flame basically, and you're watching this happen, and this zombie is not being burned up in it at all. In fact, it just lights it on fire, and like it starts cackling madly with this laughter.
You're just making it angrier.
I'm gonna walk up to Red and pick him up and take him away from the tree.
Can I help with if you James with that as well? Just
Well, I was gonna say I want to use the turn undead.
Oh,
You can still do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Red's gonna reach up for his necklace of Moradin and say, "Be gone, vile creature."
Like as you do that, you're actually going to see this thing is going to like turn to ash as you do that, and like ash is just going to start falling over the whole clearing. And as you say it, like this thunder wave of force is going to expel from your amulet. Is it an amulet? Is that what you said it was? Or like a like your
necklace,
symbol.
whatever it is.
Yeah, from your symbol, it's going to like just explode forward, and just ash is going to start raining down on this whole clearing where you have set up camp. You're the only one who sees this though, or feels the shock wave or anything, and like you suddenly have full control over your hammer again.
Yeah.
what happened?
Well, I'm just curious if Galia might at
Yeah,
least
I still
notice
would
that.
have my detect magic up. So would I just detect that he did it?
I mean, like you feel that he has tried using his turn undead spell, his divinity to do that, but like you're not like there's no actual effect. Like it's not hitting anything. Like nothing is happening.
Yeah.
You just feel the cast.
Just that I
of
used it though.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look at him and just kind of What are you doing? We are on the other side of the river. What are you seeing?
Well, it's okay now. They're just ash now. The turn undead. Morden answered my prayers, so he destroyed the undead.
That is very good. Why don't you get some rest first off, and I will keep watch for the rest of the undead for you. Okay? Okay.
Galia, as you're talking, do you have your head covered at this point, or is it uncovered? Like, do you have horns going and stuff
stopped.
right now, or?
Yeah, she's got the horns going. She probably stopped wearing the hood now that they're away from society,
and we all know your secret.
Yeah, and we all know, so she doesn't really care anymore.
Yeah. Red, is like as you're looking at Galia, her horns are going to start kind of growing as you look at her, and like her face is going to start kind of lengthening, and her eyes, which already kind of like basically her face is going to morph more and more devilish. Like normally she looks very human, but as you look at her, she is going to just become more and more like stereotypical devilish ancestry sort of a person.
I'm guessing Red would back up a bit, and maybe there's like a I don't know what look would be on his face.
Again, no one else sees this. Like Galia, you don't even you're not. Nothing's happening to you.
He would just be staring at Galia and be like I don't know what the look would be. I wouldn't say fear, but just, oh man, what's going on now?
Can I make a medicine check on Red? Like I'm gonna open up his eyes and see the dilation of his pupils, and I'm gonna check his pulse, and I don't know if Jahar still has him, but I'm essentially going to accost him and see if there's something medically going on with him.
Red, let me ask: are you going to kind of fight back from this, or are you going to how are you going to respond with all of this?
I assume Galia probably has a hand on his shoulder when she tried to reassure him,
sorry, Arrogant won't do it without preamble. He's not gonna come and grab Red. He's gonna be like, yeah, let me check your vitals.
Well, I would say if Galia was touching me, I would probably shrug off her arm and back up a step type of thing, because she's to me she's turning into a demon type of thing. So
and Jarth, I know you wanted to try to grab Red. I feel kind of stuff happened in a certain order that maybe didn't quite let that happen.
Yeah, I imagined that while Red was doing his casting, that's when Jarth picked him up and started to drag him away.
Okay.
Put him down.
Is that something that Red that you would have tried to fight, or is that kind of would you have noticed at that point even?
Well, I mean, I would have quote turned the zombies, but then if I'm looking at, well, in that case, if I'm looking at Galia, I'd probably still try to shrug off her arm and sort of melt, push back into Jarth, trying to sort of get away from.
Yeah. So Jarth, you kind of have.
But if somebody says something, I'll be like, if you guys don't see what's going on, then yeah, I don't know what's going on to me, with me.
Do you want to find somewhere else to stay the night?
I don't know. Maybe I got some kind of sickness or something.
Arrogant.
Go find Quogok.
Arrogant will
What
turn
the
to.
fuck? Sorry.
Arrogant will turn to Aza and ask, "Do you know anything about medicine or anatomy or anything like that? Can we like? I want to check red.
Medicine, not really. I mean, I have my wisdom skill for it, but
I have medicine proficiency as well, so
doesn't Red know a restoration spell?
He does if he is of a mind to
I guess basically.
think of using that.
if we wait
Will he allow me
until-
to check him? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, if
Yep.
he has now identified that there's something going on with him, maybe he would cast restoration on himself.
Why don't
Yeah,
we?
but I don't know if he would think of it right away or not. So.
Well, that's why I'm suggesting.
Yeah, it sounds like he would be willing to let Aragim maybe take a look. So why don't we have Aragim
Can
roll
I-
a medicine check?
Can I help Aragim with that at all? Would Red let me get close enough to help, or
Nope.
would he just?
Demon.
Alright.
Demon.
I'll just make the roll, and if
Okay.
Farragon can't tell anything, he'll probably ask someone else. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, you're like, I think Red would be like just maybe a little too agitated, and Aragim is not skilled enough in medicine to really.
Yeah.
To really
Like
know.
I'm not the best with dwarven anatomy. Anyone who knows anything about medicine.
I will try.
Well, I know something about medicine, but I'm the guy that's injured.
Galia
That's
will
not strictly
try.
medicine, Red.
Even though Galia doesn't realize exactly, she's still gonna try and get close enough to like lay on hands for him or like check him for the medicine. She'll walk up.
No, don't let her touch me.
Yeah, like Jareth, you've got Red at this point. Like would you? Like he's.
I mean,
he's, like,
I
pushing back
think
up
I put
against
him. I mean, I think I would have put him down by now.
you. Okay.
Red, what's the matter? It's just Galia.
What is
I don't know. She's like transforming into a demon. I guess you guys don't see that.
What?
what? She like feel herself and
Galia,
then,
don't worry about it. You're ravishing. You're not turning into a demon. Red, what's the matter with you? That's our friend. Don't insult her.
I don't know. You guys, I saw undead and you guys didn't. I'm seeing Gallia and you guys aren't.
Galia's gonna go and cry off in the corner now.
Look what you did.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would think of
But,
casting
Aza will,
restoration or not. So
Aza will suggest it to him that if there's something going on with just him, then he might be affected by something that might be cured or at least helped by a restoration spell.
Arrogant would be like, "Are you?"
oh, restoration. You're right. I remembered that this morning. He'll grab his amulet and say a quick prayer to use restoration.
Which? Yeah, if you could roll it for me. All right. Yeah, as you cast this on yourself, yeah, you can feel kind of this haze lifting from yourself, and like suddenly, Galia turns back into her normal Lathander loving self, and
Only a little tiny bit demon.
yeah, and like you just see this charred tree, like the ash and stuff is like nowhere, like kind of all of this stuff that you were seeing is gone, basically.
Yep. Well, I'll relax in Jarvis's arm and say, "Oh, yeah, that's much better. That's much better. Gallia's not a demon anymore."
Oh, I still
She was never a demon.
Well, okay, but she looked like she was turning into a demon.
Galia's gonna be pretty inconsolable the rest of the night.
Arrogant walks
fair
by
warning.
Galia and like Pal punches her in the
Yeah.
Pal punches her in the shoulder and like
I think you mean in the shin.
Yeah.
Well, she said she was sulking in the corner, so I'm imagining she's like hugging her legs
Yeah.
and stuff. So I'll just like, I either flick her in the side of the head or like, pow punch her in the shoulder, whatever. And I'll be like,
Yeah, I gotcha.
cheer up, you're tougher than that, or something like that.
Yes, you are right. You are right. Okay.
Well, if she's still upset, then Red would go over and say, oh, "I'm sorry. It was, obviously had some kind of momentary sickness there. So."
No, oh no, No, I understand. It is okay. You were not yourself.
No, apparently not.
All is forgiven. It is okay. She'll kind of like try to do like reach out and do a pat, but then she'll kind of pull her hand back and just kind of nod, and then go set up her tent for the night.
Arrogant also sets up his tent.
It's tent party time.
Yay!
Is there a creature that you would look at for the evening, or any creatures that you would be interested in the book? I'm assuming.
Is it indexed, or is it just random alphabetical, or what is it?
If there is one thing that Volo can do, it is index a book, I think.
I probably is it organized by region, monster type? What is the organization?
It's by environment, challenge rating, or no, I'm kidding. You know what? I think it's mostly the indexes. I think there would be two of them. Would be kind of like one like, here are jungle creatures. Here are, and then like there would be kind of like, oh, these are the undead. These are the like. So you could kind of find it either way.
Yeah. Aragim wouldn't have focused on one creature specifically. I think, he was a student for a good long time, and he has learned to read efficiently. So he would get familiar with the book first, and learn, I guess how Bolo's writing style plays out, and he'd try and find the best way to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd probably, if he's had enough time, probably look at gloss through the jungle stuff so he can see like, are there illustrations or something like that, or is it just writing?
There are definitely some illustrations.
Yeah.
There's like pictures of kobolds and like all kinds of just weird. You probably see a few things about like Yuan Ti, and you see some orcs and different creatures. Yeah, definitely some stuff in there.
Yeah, if that's the case, I'd probably eventually settle on the jungle and find something that was interesting, maybe something I'd seen before, or something I hadn't that seemed gross and terrifying.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say that you definitely pick up some knowledge, and we can adjust it from there.
Okay.
Um,
That's what I do for the rest of the night, and then I sleep.
Fair enough.
While we're on creatures, what is the growth cycle of an axebeak like? So I wonder how we're going to handle the transition from fledgling to full creature.
Right. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to transition into an adult. You've had Hatch how long now? Roughly, like 5
4
or
or
6
5 days.
Yeah. I think because this is a very young axebeak. I think you're at least a few weeks out from it maturing. What we'll probably do is like, I don't know, maybe every week we'll probably buff it up a little bit until it gets closer to standard axebeak stats.
Sounds good.
So maybe we can do that after the game tonight. We can work on that a little bit. All right. So I guess you make camp. Red, you're you're fine. You no longer have symptoms. So you seem good. The evening
I would
passes.
I would go talk to Quilgok and mention what happened. I mean, he maybe sort of knows what happened anyways, but since we're all
Yeah,
hanging around the camp, but
yeah, definitely.
just like, does that kind of thing happen in the jungle?
Yeah, Kogak will. The jungle is. There's lots of different dangers here. Some of them are creatures, and some of them are a lot worse. I don't know all the diseases that are out here, but if you were seeing things, it sounds like you picked up something. Maybe back in Camp Vengeance, maybe you picked up something there. That was not a healthy place to be.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was some kind of sickness there.
And he's just gonna kind of, and if you were seeing things, if the undead were really coming after you, like maybe that explains partially what was going on with those paladins there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I might be better now, I guess.
It'll nod.
I just realized we probably could have lesser restorationed the guy and saved the whole camp instead of killing everyone.
Too late now.
Whoops.
Yeah, Quilgok's
Bone
gonna...
break stabbed first.
Yeah.
Did he?
No, I thought Jarvis initiated.
He wanted to steal our boats.
I don't blame
And then
Jarvis.
I told him to. He did what I expected him to do.
Well, Red didn't see what happened, so.
I was gonna say, yeah. Like Red was.
It's Rito shot first this time.
I think there were a lot of people ready to shoot. Is maybe
Yeah.
like Red came tearing out of that tent. He was ready to do things. Jarvis was ready to stop the boats from being stolen. Galia was just angry at paladins for.
Yeah.
Arrogam wanted to stab stuff. I mean, it was.
It was a bit of a loaded gun.
It was a powder keg.
It was a powder keg. Yeah, Quilgok will just kind of suggest they keep an eye on you for the next few days and make sure, if you see anything weird, like maybe make sure you report it to everyone rather than like definitely don't go wandering off on your own into the jungle. Don't follow any weird creatures on your own or any of that kind of stuff.
Sure, I'll try to keep that in mind.
That said, the next day is going to dawn. Hopefully a happier day. Let's advance the date. We're going to get Quilgok to... Now, here's what's happening. Because you are headed into uncharted territory. It's a pretty reasonable day for you. Only a little bit of rain. Since you guys are headed into uncharted territory, here's what we're going to do is... Quilgok is going to have disadvantage because you're headed into places that nobody knows. Since you're giving him the help action, that's going to cancel out the disadvantage, so he's rolling basically flat with his modifiers. So that is what we are doing.
We can also give him guidance if we want to.
You absolutely can give him guidance if you would like to.
Red can.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
What? Guidance? What's that? Network? Hold on. No, it was delayed. Yeah, I guess the first one.
All right. So heading into uncharted territory today. Let's see. Let's actually move your token off for 1 second. I'm going to delete the square, the hex.
I'd like it noted that now that we're moving into uncharted territory, Aragon is especially fervent in using his cartography tools to sort of map the area.
Excellent.
So he's like, making smaller maps if they're like get into a clearing, and he's sort of linking them all together. So he actually bought a book, and he's been drawing on the pages.
Excellent. All right, here's what we're going to do. This day passes pretty uneventfully for you. We're going to roll another check for... all right, yeah, so you don't really find anything... Oh, no, you have help on it. That's right. So, yeah, you would find enough food for everyone, plus some for your pack, Asa.
Oh, fantastic.
Because people are helping you with it. All right. Go ahead and roll guidance again for me. You can just roll the d4 if you want to, or whatever the roll is. Right? It's a d4. We're gonna pass a day here. Right, that's a 2. All right.
I will have mentioned that I'm out of rations.
Okay. Well, fortunately,
Well,
you
you just
received...
got one from me,
Yeah.
but it was all vegetarian.
What? No meat? Didn't you find any meat?
This isn't food.
All right. So
Could,
you...
Asa, could you prepare, or maybe you could prepare the good berry spell next time we rest, and then maybe we can...
Yeah, give up that one.
All right, and go ahead and roll me one more guidance at least here.
Oops, sorry. I meant to hit the gear.
All right. At this point, you believe that you are in the general vicinity of where.
Is that 2 days we advanced there?
Yes, that is 2 days that you advanced there. In the general vicinity, but you have not found. You have not found this Vorn creature here yet. Let's see. We're gonna have Quilgok roll survival again and just see if he can. All right. We're gonna see here a little bit. Just what's happening. All right.
So would that be? Should I roll another guidance, or was that covering that check?
No, you can roll again. We're gonna advance a couple of days here, and Quilgok is going to just kind of finally come to everyone on the dawn of this next day, and he's gonna say, "I'm not quite sure where we are."
Well, I know where we are. And I mean, relative. And he starts like going through his maps on the... Am I muted?
Nope.
Oh, no.
No.
He starts like going through his maps and and this one links to this one here, and... Wait, where was... Is Quilgok lost? Is that basically what...
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The party is lost.
I think these are less organized than I thought.
Yeah. And he's gonna say, I thought, by now we should have been at least near where you were pointing to, but I'm not. I don't know. I haven't come this way before, and this deep in the jungle, it all looks the same.
I mean, I have been tracing our path. I don't know if that means anything.
No. We should be able to find our way back, but
Yeah, because I have been spending the whole travel time mapping.
well, if I recall, Wakanga just said that this was a possible location. So
Yeah. Well, Arya, why don't you do this? Why don't you roll a survival check and see if you can, kind of looking through your notes and the map and everything, see if you can kind of figure out anything from.
Is that a normal roll?
I'm gonna look over his shoulder and help.
Yeah, you can have a help action.
21.
21. Yeah, you're going to quickly realize that you have veered off course pretty well. That you have
Oh.
that you have moved through the jungle, kind of away from, like, even though you thought you were headed towards your destination, you've actually been kind of veering away from it.
I'll turn to Aza. Oh, hey, thanks. That was really helpful. I didn't know I missed that page there. Yeah. So I guess I'll report to Quilcock where we actually are.
Yeah. He's going to kind of get his bearings again. All right. Well, let's strike out again. So I'm going to roll for the next day of travel. All right. Let's advance.
I would like to, if Aza isn't able to find enough rations, I'll share with Fred.
All right. Yeah, Aza, go ahead and if you want to roll your
done.
survival. You find enough for the day, but not enough for extended rations.
More rabbit food.
Did you find any, like, morsels of bug? Aragon would totally eat bugs.
You can do that without my help.
All right, let's
Just hold out your arms.
So this day you're traveling at about midday here. It's a very calm day in the jungle, other than it's just sweltering hot. You're going to be. Let me see here real quick. Let me do one thing.
Did we advance it again? I don't. I don't know where we are.
You're going to play up one piece of information. Hold on 1 second. What's this one?
Are we gonna have more madness?
I mean, I wouldn't do madness to you more than once, would I?
Yes.
There are other things he could do to us.
All right. So just as you're kind of pushing your way through the jungle, hacking past things, and suddenly you're going to kind of hear this noise as kind of flying out of the branches towards all of you. These monkeys fly past you.
Oh no!
They are literally flying monkeys. They have wings. Let me see if I can find.
That's amazing.
I'll
get you, my pretties, and your little dog too.
I believe I have a
Should I
handout
roll
for you.
something? Should I roll something to see if I read about these guys?
You can hand out flying monkey. Here we go. They're
Or
adorable.
just make a.
So cute! I want
Make
one.
friends with it, Aza. Make friends with it now.
Aza.
It's our party
I want
mascot.
bunny.
That's our party's name, the Flying Monkeys.
So they have wings. Their wingspan is about 5 feet. And these creatures come kind of like they just kind of burst out of the air and come flying towards your party. And like they fly in and around you, and like they're just kind of milling around for kind of a moment around you. And I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw real quick.
No. Oh, Lysander, no!
Oh boy.
Aza is going to cast Speak with Animals and start talking at them, at least, if not with them.
Absolutely. They are reasonably intelligent, I believe. Let me pull up their stats real quick.
You guys are so cute. What are you called?
I mean, they're okay. They've got a 5. That's enough to do a little bit of like you just kind of catch this curiosity off of them, and like they're they are flying monkeys. They they're smart enough, like at this point, to be kind of like domesticated animals if you wanted them to be, and like I think one of them would kind of maybe stop and like come over to Aza and like maybe kind of like jump up on Aza's shoulder and kind of like start picking at her hair a little bit, and you know, just kind of communicating as much as possible. Joris and Red, let me look at your character sheets real quick. Red and Joris.
Oh, they're thieves.
Oh.
Joris, you're going to see that one of these guys is going to let me roll for this. You've got I'm just gonna roll a d10 real quick for a few items here. All right.
It tries to pick the great sword up.
I mean, I'm skipping a few like important things here. It's going to get like it's going to grab some of the torches out of your backpack. Like if you have a couple that are kind of like easier to grab, maybe like it grabs like 2 of the torches and like just swoops off carrying them with it.
Can I try to grab him before he goes away?
I will give you with disadvantage, and let's see, probably an acrobatics check.
Not athletics.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it can be athletics. That's fine. But again, with disadvantage.
All right.
Oh my god.
Oh, I guess this is contested, isn't it? Because it's a grapple.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're using strength.
Oh my god.
What did I do with the monkey? Flying monkey. There's a flying monkey. So he's going to use his dexterity to try to get away from that. And he does.
Oh my god.
He's just going to slip right out of your grasp.
Oh.
And fly away with 2 of your torches. So please mark those off of your character sheet currently. Let's see, Red. I'm going to do...
So it's prestidigitation right now. Just light the torches.
Let's see, it's a 2, so that's going to be... I think this is going to be your insignia of rank. Do you wear that anywhere, or is it in your bag?
I probably don't have it on.